I keep reading the scripts you send, Burt, and feel good and free, and yet I can't seem to get it all together. Something is missing. Now, what is missing? And for that one, I had to ask my inner guide, okay? Just to be clear. But what is missing is a very simple thing. Knowing the great difference between thought and awareness. And once we're very clear about thought and awareness, you just know who you are and you begin to live from that. So, in order to understand the difference between thought and awareness, which are vast, imagine awareness is infinite and thought is finite. Can anything be more different than that? And yet, we always confuse them. Why do we do that? Well, first of all, most people are not aware of their true nature. Oh, they hear words like I am spirit, or I'm a part of God, or I am divine, or whatever. But these are just words. To live from it is an entirely different thing altogether. So let's discuss about attention. I'd like you to listen to this word attention, because this will lead us to understand the difference between thought and awareness. There is never a time when you're not paying attention to something. Never. Right now, for example, you're listening to Burt talk. That's where your attention is at. If you're not listening to Burt, your mind is wandering, then of course your mind is wandering, so you're paying attention to that. Okay? And whatever you're doing, you're reading a book, you're paying attention to the book. At night, you pay attention to your dreams, whatever you happen to be feeling. So, to repeat, and I cannot say it enough, there's never a time when you're not paying attention to something. That is the point. But we never ask, what is attention? Where does it come from? Who is paying attention? And that is the key. Now, once you understand that, pay attention right now to attention itself. You see? And the moment you do that and you grasp that, then you begin to know the difference between thought and awareness. And that is the whole thing. And yet you never learn that. I very rarely have I ever read a book that tells the difference between these two. I'd like you to imagine the following, okay? Maybe one of you will volunteer, and I'll ask you a couple of questions to have an example of what I'm talking about. May I have volunteer? Okay, Jim. Jim, no, you stay where you are. Yeah. You're in a pitch black room. It's pitch dark. You cannot see anything. Okay? All right. It's pitch dark. You know, I'd like you to imagine that. Okay, now hand me the book that's there. What would you say?
You say, hand me the book that's there.
Right.
And it's a big room.
And it's pitch dark. You can't see a thing.
I'd say it's going to be a while.
Okay. You can say, what book? Right? Because
I believe you and trust you, so if you say there's a book.
Okay. So, but it's pitch dark, so you say, what book, right?
Okay.
Something like that. Okay. Now I say to you, you said, what book? Who is it that spoke?
That is aware.
Okay, you're in the pitch dark room, and I'm talking to you. And you said, I don't know where the book is, I can't see it because it's dark, right? I mean, I'm assuming this is what we'll probably say. So right now, I would say, who is it that said that? Just say whatever comes naturally. Forget you're in a satsang. How would you say this to somebody else? Who is it that said that? You did.
But I don't know who I
He's confused now.
Okay. Okay. You did. Okay.
am. All right.
You said. Okay. Now, how do you know you're there? You said me. You say, I said, who's there? Who said that? And you said me. And then I say to you, how do you know you're there? It's pitch dark. You couldn't see the book. You didn't see yourself. So how do you know you're there?
It's awareness.
Okay. So you're aware that you're there. You just know you're there. Right? I'd like you to feel this. Okay? You see, this is one thing everybody takes for granted. How do you know you exist? How do you know you're there? I just know. But what is it that knows that? It's not a thought, it's not a memory. I have to feel it, okay? Because we're going with words. It loses its potency. We have to feel it. So, and I say to Jim, you know, he says, me, and how do you know you're there? And of course, everybody would probably say something like, you see, awareness is the key, of course, but I would say, because I know, I'm here, I know I'm here. But who is it that knows? Okay? That is called the felt sense of I. And you understand that? Now, this felt sense of I am, we think of it as being this small little encasement. You see? We do not realize that this I, this primordial I, which has no beginning or end, is awareness itself. It recognizes itself. It does everything. Now, when people are told you're not a doer, you really don't do anything. You don't keep your heart beating. You don't keep your cells changing. You don't say, and emotions. You don't say, well, I think I'm going to get depressed now. You know, things happen to you. Everything is happening from consciousness. You see. So the point is that it is this I that's doing everything. But let's understand this I. There's another term I'd like to use here. Okay? In this space, in this I, this pure consciousness, that which is, which cannot be defined, which you cannot see, you cannot taste, you cannot smell, but just is, which appears as you being aware. Okay? That in itself creates, let's call it a cosmic soup. Okay? From it comes a soup of a disturbance of vibration. You know when you have a quiet lake, and the lake, the water is very clear, and then you throw a pebble, and you disturb the surface, and you create ripples, and those ripples become wider and wider and wider. All right? Now, in the same way that in this cosmic self, in this I, that is I, okay, a disturbance is created, which is called thought. In scientific terms, we call it a wave. Now, everything happens through waves. Picture a radio, a very sensitive radio, and you put it in, you know, you turn it on, and you listen. And you could be listening to what is happening in the States, even in Germany, if it's a very good, sophisticated radio. It has a good receiver. So what happens that you're receiving it? Okay, immediately the mind says, oh, the sound is coming from the radio. It's inside the radio. It's as if somebody's speaking, you open the radio apart and there's a person there. Okay, and that's what seems when we watch television. But the truth is that the radio is just a receiver from the cosmic soup. Now I call it soup because it's made up of millions and trillions of waves of energy. You see, radio waves, cosmic waves, video waves, you know, all these are all waves. That's what produces our senses to see, to hear, to experience. You see, our sensual input-output is all made up of this cosmic soup. This disturbance in space of I,